High School 33 friends, Mrs. Heisinger back again. I got a fun thing for you to do today. It has to do with listening to a story and doing some thinking about it, okay? So I'm not sure if you ever go on to the district's website. It's called Rock Connect. But on there, sometimes they have slides and pieces of paper and things that your parents can get for you to do at home. If you're not able to do that, that's okay. The only reason I mention it is because on there, some of the activities for last week had to do with something called Author's Point of View. I wrote it down for you. Author's Point of View. Okay, so if you did see it and maybe you were a little confused about it, this is good practice. And if you saw it and you knew it, then this will be good too. And if you weren't able to see it, well, now you can do some practice with it, okay? So we're going to listen to a story today, and we're going to think about the author. The author is the person who wrote the story, and we're going to think about their point of view. And what that means, point of view, it means what they were thinking, what they were feeling, maybe about a character or about what was happening in the story. A lot of times when an author writes a story, they give you little clues about what they're thinking and what they're feeling. So the book I have for you to listen to today is called Big Anthony, His Story by Tomie dePaola. Now, Tomie dePaola wrote quite a few books, and there's a series of them that all go together. I actually love his stories. There's one called Stregonona, and then Stregonona Meets Her Match, and then Stregonona, Her Story, and then there's this one that kind of goes along with it. It's about this character named Big Anthony, and he's in all of those other stories. So as you're listening to this story, I want you to think about Big Anthony and think about what the author is trying to tell you about Big Anthony. How does the author feel about Big Anthony? So keep that in your mind. It was a beautiful sunny day on a farm in the northern hills of the country we now know as Italy. Everything was set for a big feast. The whole family was gathered at the door to the farmhouse. And I'm sorry, friends, I know the light is not so good in this room, but sometimes I gotta hide from my kids and I only get what I get. Here comes the Bambino, Zia Rosetta, the aunt, called out. The godparents, carrying a fine baby boy, walked out, followed by a beaming mama and a proud papa. On to the church, Il Padrino, the godfather announced. This will be the happiest of days. This is the firstborn, and he will do great things. After all, said Nonna Emilio, the grandfather, children are our future. Everyone crowded into the church for the christening. It's like a baptism. The godparents held the baby as everyone gathered around. The baby was fast asleep. Mama whispered softly, "Wake up, my son, and listen to Padre Marcello." The priest started to pour the holy water as he declared, "Henceforth you shall be known as Anthony." Just then, baby Anthony, who was still asleep, threw up his arms, spilling the holy water all over himself and everyone else. "Look, baby Anthony didn't even cry or wake up when he got all wet," Zia Rosetta whispered to Nonna Graziella, his grandmother. "What a good bambino, baby." Nonna Graziella said as she watched everyone drying off. "I don't know. There's one hint for you. On little Anthony's first birthday, there was a feast of all feasts. In the shade of the olive grove, the family and friends sat at tables piled high with food. On a separate table was a birthday cake. Papa stood to give a birthday greeting. "Sit quietly, my son, and listen to Papa," Mama whispered to little Anthony. Papa began to make a speech. It was a long speech. "And now," Papa said, "Felice compleanno, happy birthday, to my little son." But little Anthony was nowhere to be seen. Now, some of these words that you hear, friends, you might not know what they mean. They're in Italian. They sound kind of similar to Spanish, but they're just a little bit different. Suddenly, there was a loud crash. Everyone looked around, and there was little Anthony covered in cake. Nonna Graziella said. little Anthony may be a bit of trouble. There's another hint for you. Little Anthony began to grow. He's going to be a big boy, Nonno Emilio said. He takes after my side of the family. Soon it was time for little Anthony to learn to drink out of a cup. Nonna Graziella was going to teach him. Hold your cup in both hands. Anthony did. Lift it up, and Anthony did. Now drink. Just then, a bird sang. He doesn't pay attention, Nonna Graziella said. That's the trouble. And Nonna Graziella was right. Every year, little Anthony grew taller. Soon he was big enough to help on the farm. Here's a basket, Anthony. Go to the garden and pick the lettuce the way I showed you. Then bring it to me in the kitchen, Mama told him. See, Mama, Anthony said. And he did. Sorry, friends, almost lost my computer there. Oh, Anthony, Mama said. Now Anthony was old enough to go to school. Anthony loved school, but the teacher kept saying, Attenzione, Anthony, per favor, please, pay attention. Because Anthony was the tallest boy in class, the teacher asked him to stay after school one day and help tidy up the schoolroom. Anthony, would you please put all these books up on that shelf? We'll put the other things away when I come back. Are you paying attention to me, Anthony? Ah, si, professore, up on the shelf. So Anthony did. But if you look at the picture, he didn't just put the books up on the shelf, he put everything up on the shelf. There's another clue for the author's point of view about Anthony. As Anthony grew older and taller, he was needed on the farm. Anthony, Nonna Graziella said, take the lunches down to the field where the men are haying. And, Nonna Graziella added, be sure to find a shady spot to put them so they don't get hot in the sun. See, Nonna, Anthony said. Anthony looked around. There were no trees in the field. I know, he said to himself. I'll put the lunches under the haystack. They'll stay nice and cool there, and I'll just take a nap until it's time to eat. So Anthony did. Anthony, Nonno Emilio called. Wake up, where's the food? We're hungry. Anthony smiled a big smile. I did just what Nonna Graziella said. I put the lunches where they would stay nice and cool. I put them under a haystack. I'll go get them right away. Well, he didn't screw that one up, right? Oh, except he did. There were way too many haystacks, and he didn't remember which one. Now, Anthony was the tallest one in his whole family. It's from my side, Nonno Emilio said. Everyone began to call him Big Anthony. Big Anthony, Mama said one day. Go find your papa. The pasta is ready. See, Mama, Big Anthony said and rushed out. And Anthony, don't leave any of the gates open. Did you hear me? See, Mama, Big Anthony shouted. Gates open. And Anthony did. That's not what she said. He left every single gate open. That's it, Papa said. It's time for Big Anthony to go out into the world and earn his fortune before he ruins ours, Nonna Graziella said. Arrivederci, Big Anthony. Buona fortuna. That means good luck. The family called as Big Anthony set out on his way. Down the highways and byways, Big Anthony strode south, whistling a happy tune. The whole world was ahead of him. How excited he was. He walked and walked until the sun set. He arrived at a town called Pisa. It was too dark to go any further, so Big Anthony found a wall to sit against. He opened his sack and ate his supper. Before he knew it, he was fast asleep. Now, I'm going to stop right there because you all have been doing a wonderful job sitting and listening. This is a long story, so we're going to split it up into 2 days. So for now, I want you to stop and think about all of the clues the author gave you about his point of view about Anthony. How do you think he feels about Anthony? Do you think that he's a hard worker, that he's a great kid, that he's responsible, that he's kind of irresponsible? That means he doesn't make the best choices. Does he have a hard time listening? Does he make a lot of mistakes? Which one of those ideas seem more like the clues that the author was giving you about the type of person Anthony is? Are you thinking that he makes a lot of mistakes, has a hard time listening and paying attention? Because that's exactly what it is. You're right. That's the author's point of view about Anthony. So we'll stop here for today. And then next week we'll come back. I'll finish reading the story. And we can see if the point of view changes or if it stays the same. Okay, friends? I hope you're all doing great. Bye-bye.